This is Dr. Sola coming to you from New Jersey. So today I have a surprise in this box. I'm going to call it an unboxing video because it seems to be people love when things are unboxed. But before I do the video, let me show you something. One of the reasons why I decided I was no longer going to use lead acid batteries. So hello, hi. I'm no longer wearing a hat. My wife insisted I don't wear a hat when I do this video today. And it's, well, warmer outside. There's still some remnants of snow. But yesterday we saw 70 degrees and today we're in the 40s. So let me show you my shirt. As you could see, I have a hole here. And this hole was caused by my lead acid batteries. As most of you know, each time I came back to Nigeria, I would fight that battle with trying to get my batteries equalized. I'll be checking specific gravity on the batteries, and that eventually became a little too tedious and a little too tiring. And that's my primary reason for actually going to lithium-ion batteries. I didn't want to deal with that nonsense anymore. The smells, the destruction of clothing. I was very happy to get away from that. So I no longer have to worry about lead acid batteries, and I'm glad. Before I show you what's in the box, let me address something that came up on my last video where I talked about the Nissan Leaf being the best battery for off-grid solar. I gave you my reasons, of course. One, the ability to configure them to meet the voltages I need for my inverter. So I could do a 12 volts, which is a 4S. I could do a 24 volts, which is an 8S. And then I could do a 14S, which is 48 volts. So that I'm able to do. The Tesla is a 24 volt battery, which is 6S. And then if you need to get 48 volts, you need to add two batteries together. You can't get 12 volts. The Tesla Smart was 48 volts. It wasn't negotiable. That's what it was. The LG Chem, which I use quite a bit, same thing. It was 48 volts and it ran all the way. It was a 16S, so that ran all the way to I believe 64 volts, 65 volts, and most inverters will not function over 60 volts. So having said that, the question that came up was thermal management and thermal issues that came about from owners of the Nissan Leaf, because unlike the Chevy Bolt, and the Tesla, the Nissan was air-cooled. The others were liquid-cooled, the Nissan was air-cooled. And a lot of owners complained that they did lose capacity on very hot days or very cold days. And strangely enough, the capacity loss on cold days is not unique to Nissan. It's something that's common amongst all electric batteries. In fact, among all lithium batteries, when you subject them to extreme cold, they do lose capacity. On the heating issue, the current generation Leaf, Nissan is using, I believe, air conditioning on some of their vehicles that use the same battery to cool the battery. But on the Leaf batteries we get, it was just ambient air that cooled it. Nissan says that they believe in the architecture, the safety of the architecture, and they believe that would help manage the heat issue. And what Nissan does is that Nissan will limit capacity on very hot days. Just like you see a regular electric car limit capacity on very cold days, the Nissan does the same thing on very hot days. So if you have a 45 kilowatt hour battery and it's 100 degrees, you are not going to get 45 kilowatt hours. One thing also that you see with electric cars that you never see with our type of application is that on an electric car, you can discharge all 45 kilowatt hours in less than an hour. You put your foot in it, keep your foot down, you can discharge that battery very quickly. Let me use my personal experience. I only run a fridge and freezer through the night and lights, and that does not pull anything. I'm lucky if I use 1200 watt hours, maybe let's say 2 kilowatt hours max. And on my next trip, I plan to add air conditioning to it. And I'll be lucky if I pull 5 or 6 kilowatt hours out of those batteries. So relative, and that's over a 10-hour period versus 45 kilowatt hours in less than 1 hour. So we'll never subject the batteries to the same stresses that an electric car will subject them to. I hope that addressed that issue. I did go to Weber Auto's page, which was referenced on the comment section, and I challenged Mr. or Dr. Weber. I hope I don't I hope I don't insult him by not recognizing his title. The individual who quoted him said he was a NASA scientist. And when I watched his video, his gripe against the Nissan Leaf was that in the owner's manual, Nissan put a disclaimer, legalese, that said on very hot days, don't run on very, very hot days. If the battery temperature were XYZ, do not drive the car. If the battery wait for the battery temperature to come down before you drive the car. And on very cold days, if the battery temperature was XYZ, wait for the battery temperature to go up before you drive the car. And based on that disclaimer which he read, or the disclosure which he read on the owner's manual, he automatically reached a conclusion that the Nissan Leaf batteries were not as good as that on the Chevy Volt or the Tesla, and as such did not recommend that people buy it. And I told him, if you base your recommendations on what you read in the disclosures that manufacturers or even drug companies put out, you will never take a drug again. You see a drug that will tell you that in less than 1% of the people, they had coronary issues. This is a medicine that's supposed to cure your headache. It's going to tell you how it will kill you and all that stuff. So I understand why Nissan put those disclosures, but for all we do, it doesn't apply. I hope that addressed that. So back to my bus bars from VTE Inc. So I hope to be able to finish this in less than a minute. I bought 4 of these, 2 black and 2 red in Nigeria, and I paid over $100 for it. I have 10 of these with the cover plus shipping. I paid less than $100 for it. So I get a better deal buying them here in Nigeria than I get buying them here in the US than I get buying them in Nigeria. Why do I use bus bars? As you could see on my installation, to keep wiring neat, I have to use bus bars. I have two charge controllers, 2 inverters, a battery monitor. I also have, what else do I have? A battery monitor, a BMS, battery management system, all going to my batteries. Can you imagine trying to run all those cables into your batteries? It will look ugly. So what I do is I run all those cables into my bus bar, and then from my bus bar, I run a single cable into my batteries or into my BMS. And it's safer. This can handle up to, I believe, 350 amps, maybe even 350 amps, which is much more than what I'll ever pull out of my batteries. So I highly recommend that if you do an installation, to use one of these. They come with a cover, so you put the cover on, and as you can see, it keeps it pretty safe and prevents you from shorting things out and killing someone. So I got 5 of the blacks and 5 of the reds, and I got 10 covers. Okay, and including shipping, delivered to me was less than $100. So if you like what you see, please give me a thumbs up. I'll be posting a link to VTE Warehouse on my page. If you purchase individual units, you go to VTE Warehouse. If you're going to purchase in large quantities, then you go to VTE Inc. Once again, this is Dr. Sola coming to you from New Jersey. Thank you for watching.